Welcome to the X Podcast. So excited to have you back for another riveting episode. And I have a group of friends with me here today. As always, my wonderful co-host, Russ.
Yeah, you hear that?
Not
co-host.
related more.
Co-host today.
Except for today.
What?
Today, you're going to be on the hot seat.
Yeah. Today's going to be a fun day.
Along with Russ, we have Hope Mitchell, straight out of Columbus.
She calls it the Nash Bash.
What?
Nash Bash.
You always say you're at a Nash Bash.
I'm from Carroll, Ohio.
She was in Nashville for like a hot minute.
2
That's
years.
it. 2 years. How long have you lived in Ohio?
You talk like you were there 10 years.
Like 28 years,
20, let's not
27.
go, yeah.
How old are you?
Almost 26.
Almost 26. Okay, so about
Yeah.
24 years you've been in Ohio.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is true.
Okay, almost 26 years
Yeah.
old. And I've got Maria. Maria.
I've been in Ohio for almost 31 and a half years.
Oh, is that how old you are?
Wow.
31, and then where were you the other years?
In the
I'm
mind of
I'm
God.
just kidding. Are you really 31 and a half?
Well, I'm 31 and some change.
Are you really? I
Not
you,
and a
I
half
thought
yet.
you were in your 20s. That was part of the
Aw,
reason why I
thank
invited you on
Oh,
here.
okay. Did you
I
think he was
didn't
in
know.
his 20s?
No. I
Okay.
thought he was in his 40s. I was trying to cover all the decades.
that's so funny.
Sorry, I'm just teasing.
Yeah.
I had to try to cover
Cut
all
his
the
mic.
decades.
All
Yeah.
the generations.
That's right, generations, even more.
30-year-old and 20-year-old.
Yeah, I had to cover
I am
all the
not 20.
generations.
Oh,
Yeah,
I get
38.
that. 50s.
Yes.
You thought I was in 40s.
Nice try.
30s, 20s. There we
All
go.
right.
I
Anyways.
understand. All right.
We're good.
Well, what are, in our co-hosting duties today,
God, no.
what are we covering?
Okay, so today,
Yeah.
what I am going to help as a host lead an interview.
Okay.
So interestingly enough, we kicked off a brand new series at our church this past weekend. I think this one's going to air on Friday when we record this. And we kicked off a new series called what, ladies?
Swipe left.
Or
You were supposed to
right.
say that together.
Oh.
Swipe left or
No.
right.
That's not the name
title's
of the
called Swipe
series.
Left. Anyways,
Oh.
it's just
Well,
swipe
our,
left.
show, our new show that we have.
I thought you guys told me you
got
just basically only swipe left.
Well, that is a little bit true.
Okay.
They're
So
kinda like
anyways,
stars right
they
now.
are
They have a
right
whole
now.
thing going.
If you're a part of our church, then you'll see the Hope and Maria show basically every single weekend as they sit down
This is why I
and
didn't want to do this.
they talk about boys that would either swipe left or swipe right on. And
well, yeah,
right,
yeah,
like
yeah.
for
Cliche
example,
things that
he
boys
let's for
do.
example, he has a good job, okay? He drives a decent car, right? Graduated from college,
Okay.
Okay.
Good career path, everything.
Okay.
Lives with his mom in the basement.
Well,
Well, we talked about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was for our
Maria-
podcast audience. What are we doing?
Maria
Swipe left or
also
swipe right?
lives-
Well, I live in my mom's basement.
Okay, so then you have no problem. Swipe right. Does
I
that bother
also-
you?
That creates something in common.
You don't care, do you?
how
What?
old is
That
he?
creates something in common.
What do you mean?
Okay, he's 25.
If he
No,
lives in
that's
the
fine.
basement, you
That's fine.
live in the basement,
He's 38.
then you have something to talk
It's
about.
actually-
38.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
We
so
have a
so
lot in
age would
common.
matter. Age
Yeah,
would matter a
age
little bit.
matters
Place
a
in
lot.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you dated someone 46 back in Nashville.
I did not. That is
that's not-
false news.
That's not true.
False news.
Okay.
He lies quite often.
Okay.
So, anyways, I
Is
thought
that a
while
swipe
we
left?
That's a left swipe.
That's a left swipe.
He lies quite often. Left swipe.
left swipe. So, anyway, swipe left obviously is. In fact, maybe we could just for those who we have a lot of people that watch this on YouTube. So
A
maybe we
lot.
could even just show them which of your apps are your favorite to use for dating.
Like I have many.
Yeah. Maria,
Things.
Bumble or Hinge?
Bumble or Hinge
Oh.
Well,
is a Hinge.
see,
You-
I can't be
You
exposing
disclosing?
myself like that.
Hey,
whoa.
what is your avatar on Hinge? Because you don't use your
Avatar?
real name. Yeah, you know, you use fake name. You're like
should I do that?
no.
Is that advice?
I think
should
avatar is
give
a
fake
picture.
names?
So okay, let's ask this question to all three of you.
Yeah,
Right?
like everybody's.
Are-
I've seen that movie.
Are any of you guys on any social dating apps?
I am not.
You're
Right
not.
now.
Not right now. Oh,
Are you?
Have you been in the past?
yes.
You have. Have you?
I have in the past.
Have you?
Are you?
I am currently not on any social
No, that wasn't the
media
question.
apps. That was your first question.
Okay.
And to answer your second question, I was.
Which
10
one
years-
is it?
10
I'm looking
years
it up
ago.
right now.
Oh, it's deleted.
10 years ago?
Yeah.
Did you say it was
Oh, you
Tinder?
got it. They're better now.
Tinder?
Did you say it was
You were on
Tinder?
Tinder?
Yeah.
Or 10 years
Well,
ago? I got that.
also-
Tinder
Both.
10 years ago.
It was
Tinder.
Tinder?
This is going to sound like I'm making this up. but
No,
I was,
no.
I was at a wedding, 2014.
Okay.
And my buddy said, "Can I borrow your phone real quick?" This is something that I would do to somebody. And I was like, "Sure." and he goes, I saw him grinning. I was like, "Why are you laughing so hard?" And he goes, "Well, you already got a few matches." I said, what does that mean, few matches? And then he showed me, and I hate to admit it, but for a hot minute, like 2 months, I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. This is actually kind of addictive. This is kind of fun.
Yeah.
So for 2
Lot
months,
of swipe right.
For 2 months in 2014, I had Tinder, but no.
There was
since
Tinder?
then.
2014.
Okay.
It was different back then.
It was.
When it
Tinder
came out.
back then
That
was
is
different
true.
than what it is today.
Right.
Today,
That
I
is
think it's
true.
accepted as a regular, or no, back then it was a regular dating app
Yeah,
versus
it
a
was-
hookup app.
Right. Now it's more of a
Yeah.
hookup app.
I feel like it was always a hookup app from
I
the
do
beginning.
too.
The moment I heard about Tinder, I only knew it as a hookup app.
For a long time, I feel like most of them were. That's kind of what
Yeah.
it is. And so, yeah, I feel like now, like, Hinge is more of almost like a
Describe
full
it to me.
profile.
I don't know what Hinge
So you
is.
can pick like multiple pictures of yourself.
Oh, okay.
And
That's-
they have like prompts. So it's not just
Oh my
like.
gosh. So it's
these
like
are the-
Facebook for Tinder?
Kind of.
But-
kind of.
okay.
But it's like you get a more broad scope. It's not just, okay, here's a short paragraph about
Yeah.
what this person likes.
So it's
to do.
not one catfished photo with
Yes.
I love to travel and
Yes.
be an adventure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they all say that.
It
Yeah.
sounds a little personal. It sounded like they're a little upset about
Well,
someone's profile.
Yeah,
That really,
look, I didn't mean to switch the tables, but you were on Tinder from what time to?
yeah. Tinder
didn't
did
have
not
the
exist
internet.
before I got
Oh,
married. I have not
okay.
been on any dating app since I've been married. So
Did they have the internet?
the internet existed.
when you were dating last
Well
time?
done. I was waiting for that. Well done. The internet did exist, but Tinder did not.
He said when the phone was invented.
Yes.
That was like a big year.
I was able to call people. So it's like, okay, so the dating apps are like cold calling people. It's in many ways. It's like cold calling,
I wouldn't
right?
say that.
Maybe.
It's you.
I mean, yeah.
It's sliding into someone's DMs based on their
Well,
profile and their photo.
so-
I love the phrasing. Okay.
I mean, but it's on its own app.
Cold calling, I would say, takes courage. I don't think social media apps, dating apps, take courage.
Why? You still have to communicate.
You're
I mean,
really
can't just
putting
be like
yourself out there.
telepathically,
If
I
you
like
match, well, first off, if you match, then you're facing less statistics of rejection, right? And then you're still not like in front of someone. You're still like just texting. I would think that would take way less. I don't know.
Than
It's
actually
it's
picking
been
a
a
phone up?
decade, but I would think that would take way less
That's
courage
true.
than actually calling someone.
Well,
and
in
So
order to
you
call
think
someone,
that
you have to have their
there should be
number.
A dating app where it's just your picture and your phone number. And they
Yeah.
should just call you.
no, I'm not saying that's a good idea. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not attacking it, but I'm saying I don't think that
No.
takes as much courage as a cold
Do
call.
you think somebody will create? It just came to me. Do you think somebody's going to create a dating app that will be all of the things to know about somebody, but not see their picture?
They should.
Blind dating.
I'm pretty
app.
sure they have.
Does that exist? If
Reality
not,
show like
I
that.
They have
said
a
it
reality
first.
show like that. But here's,
But I mean, but people
listen,
feel like, hey,
That's
I don't
true.
want just to have looks be the primary thing.
Yeah.
I want this person to be compatible before I would. Now, I think that would be fascinating. Or if you had to communicate and talk first before that person decided to release their photo. Dude, I just came up with a brilliant dating app.
You
I
did.
should.
It sounds like the perfect time for you to create one because of swipe left.
it
Yeah.
does.
At the end of the
Yes.
series.
We're gonna start.
Yeah.
So anyway,
But listen, I just remembered an example of how terrifying it is to cold call, because back when, because I am
Cold
a little bit
call?
older than you.
she doesn't
I'm definitely
understand
older
what
than
that
you.
word means.
Are you,
That term.
I know what it means, but
But
are you talking about
listen,
cold calling or dating?
Listen to me.
You're trying to turn the tables.
Listen to me. No. I'm talking about a place right in the middle.
'Kay.
Connected dating is back in the day, last day of school, everybody signs your yearbook.
Oh, you got a phone number?
And you hope that cute person puts their phone number in there. Call me, smiley face.
Cute.
Well, I'll never forget my somewhere between 9th grade and 10th grade. There was a girl I'd been crushing on all year, and me sitting on the front porch, trying to work up the courage, because before texting, to call, and I did, and
But
I
you
called.
knew her from school, so this wasn't
Kind
a
of.
cold call.
No,
but
but
it kinda
everybody
was.
signed your yearbook, so it's not
And-
like I was close to this.
And they
person.
all put their phone numbers on them?
not all.
Okay.
She did.
So she
She
did.
did.
So
Oh.
isn't that like a clue or something that she's kind of
No.
wants you to call her?
No, because
She's
some people
dropping
just
hints.
some
Be
people
friends?
just- yeah, because we never went
Call
on
me,
a date.
hang out.
Oh, did you
Wait,
call her?
did you call
I
her?
did. I actually
Okay.
did call her.
Tell
Did
us
it
how the
go
call
good?
went.
Yeah.
I'll be the girl. You
No.
go. Okay.
I said,
Hello?
hey,
Hello?
hey, hey, it's Russ.
Russ who?
Russellmania.
Russell-
I'm kidding. That's what they call me. Hey, Elizabeth.
Yeah?
you
how's your
said her
summer
name.
going?
It's okay. It just started. I mean, school just let out yesterday. That's a little
Okay.
odd, but whatever.
Well, hey,
Who are you again?
This is Rush. You put your number in my phone. My
Oh, I don't know. I did that with a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Can you
but
tell me what page
remember
you're
that
on?
one time after recess when you told me that you thought my hair was cute? So I still remember it. But
Oh, that
listen,
Russ.
yeah,
Oh, you're
yeah.
so cute.
Yeah, thank you. Hey,
I remember that.
Hey, people listening, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Listen, Elizabeth, you put your number in my yearbook, and I was just curious if you would, I don't know, like to hang out sometime. No, Elizabeth,
I feel like stop. I can't.
Elizabeth, was something wrong with yours? No, go outside.
Okay, unfortunately, we lost connection.
Please
but
tell me this
so-
is not how it still goes
No.
for you.
It feels like that. No.
Now it's texting only. That
Yeah.
traumatized him.
Right,
Never
right.
calls. So Elizabeth, you tried to call Elizabeth, and it was a fail.
Yeah, and who knows?
put
Maybe she
yourself
started
out
dating
there.
someone.
The important
I
thing
will
is-
say she sent a lot of signals that year, but when I called, it felt very awkward, and it did not end up leading anywhere.
So hence you went from
know?
that to dating apps. Anyways,
To Tinder.
so
that
you
would've
guys
been
have all
10
been
years
on
later,
different
but-
dating apps, and the whole idea of like we started this conversation at church to really say, how do you find the right person?
Yeah.
How do you find someone? Because, I would say for the most part, dating is the process of finding someone that you would hopefully want to spend the rest of your life with. Now, I know not everybody dates for that reason, hence why Tinder was Tinder and
Yeah.
other things and stuff, So I guess a question for you guys when I think about dating, the three of you, what is dating like for you guys today? Is it different? See, I'm trying to think what dating was like when I was in the game.
In the game.
A great way to say it before I was married. But it's different. We're in the 21st century. It's the
Yeah.
year 2022 or whenever people listen to this, and there's social media affects dating, all those kind of things in the rules. So I don't know. Either of you guys want to go first?
I feel like it's so interesting now because it feels like there's a lack of commitment because there's so many options. It's like
Explain.
because we have social media,
Okay.
because we have apps, it's like there's endless options. There's endless people.
You have a really big Rolodex
We have a really big pool of men.
of potentials.
or women. Yes. So it's like no one, it's always in the back of your head. It's like, well, what if there's a better option?
Ooh.
So I feel like it's hard on either end to know, like,
Do you think it's
Well-
harder to make? Do you think social media or any of those things have made it harder? I don't know if it would have to connect any deeper or no. I guess maybe not.
yeah.
I think social media, almost like anything else, has made things easier and harder.
Yeah.
I mean, there's ways that you again going back to almost like social media dating apps. Like there's people that that have connected through social media that they've wouldn't have connected any other way, and some of them have gone on to get married, and great relationships have formed. But I think going back to the options thing, I mean, I even think, even going back to previous
You
episodes,
keep
we've
your
done,
options open a lot. That's what you told me.
That's not true.
That's
The options
true.
are
okay.
That is not true. But going back even to episodes we've done on the interconnectedness of everything else globally right now, I think that plays in and overlaps with dating dynamics because I think nowadays people could. Not only do you feel like you have more options in your area through social
But
media,
everywhere.
but anywhere. I mean,
Yeah. That's
someone
true.
in Italy can seem as viable an
Australia.
option as that's
Oh.
true. It just depends. So people just it's
Yeah.
a weird day and
It's-
age. And I think Zach talks about because he hangs out with the college crew a lot.
Yeah.
People 18 to 22. I even think it makes me feel old to say this. I even think hearing some of the stories and talking to them, what they face from a dating
Yeah.
dynamic is even so different than probably what even the three of us face.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's true.
So I would say that you guys would maybe feel like that all the options could affect
Commitment.
commitment. It would affect all of those
Yeah.
things because there's
Yeah.
like, well, I don't know.
Well, it's like-
this is kind of weird that he does this
Yeah, so
or
then
whatever.
it's
So it's
I'll
like,
find
I just
somebody
find
else.
somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think that there is this? Okay, now be real honest about this. We were talking about last week about finding your soulmate. So I have a question. Do you think, how do you think you'll find a soulmate? Do you think there is a soulmate out there for you? What do you think a soulmate is? I'm gonna approach this again this coming week, just briefly, because I do think there's some fairy tale ideas
Yeah.
about a soulmate. But what do you think? Do you think that there is, Maria? Is there Is there the perfect guy out there? See, because I think it does play into when you have all these options, and like you said, these apps will just bring tons and tons of matches right to the forefront that you would never meet in a million years.
Yeah.
You'd never interact with some of them. That now you have all these options, and you talk about commitment. I wonder how difficult that plays into the idea of like, well, is he right?
Yeah.
Is this, because in relationships are work, and there's a level where you got to make it work, but it'd be easy not to allow yourself to go there if you're like, I don't know if this is the one.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about the one, finding the one, finding the perfect guy, perfect girl, finding a soulmate. What do you think? You think there's a soulmate out there? A Mr. Maria that's just perfect?
Well, let's not call him Mr. Maria. That's a little weird.
What name should we use?
I don't know.
Okay.
But I think, I definitely feel like I was thinking about this a little bit before. So when I was in high school, you kind of think like, okay, this is what I want. I want a guy, kind of like you were talking about, he's goes to college or he's going to, have this great career path. And this is exactly what I want for my life. And so I want to find a guy that matches all of this criteria. And so I feel like I spent a lot of time trying to find a guy that matched the criteria versus finding somebody that I actually fall in love with that's already, I love who they are. Not somebody who I'm trying to morph. Who can I morph to be what I want?
Yeah.
Versus somebody who's already somebody that I can, So I think that there's...
Does he exist?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I hope so, or you're going to be marrying really young.
Wait, well...
Okay.
Oh, I get it. Funny.
Yeah.
But-
Hilarious.
Inappropriate, but funny. What about you? Do you think, are you, this sounds bad, I'm not saying holding out, but when you date and it's like, okay, I don't know, I kind of like him, maybe whatever, but are you matching that against, there is Prince Charming out there. There is a soulmate for me.
I don't know. I feel like I've wrestled with this idea of is there a single one person that is made just for me?
Yeah.
Or do I have choice in it as well? What is the balance of that? I feel like this sounds so weird, but I have a list on my phone of things
perfect. Get it out.
of things that I look for or that I would prefer. I call them non-negotiables. We were talking about this the other day. We were asking all of the crew.
Hold on a sec, but you have one or the other or both? Because there's a difference between what you prefer and non-negotiable.
No, I have non-negotiables, but then I have preferred
Okay.
as well.
Okay.
And I feel like that's, if I'm seriously dating someone, those are the things that I'm holding up. Okay,
That's cool.
Do these 4 things, does this hold true about this person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I necessarily believe there is one single soul mate,
Yeah.
but there has to be a number of things that I want and
Okay.
prefer.
I like that. You have a standard
Yes.
for dating.
Yeah.
And I think it's great. Let me just say, I think it's great that you have taken time to write it down. Because I don't know that a lot of people do. And I
Yeah.
think you get into a relationship or even if you just start and you kind of feel the attraction and you feel the chemicals going and all this
And
stuff.
it's
And it's real easy just to kind of
throw it away.
throw it out.
Yeah. Exactly.
Or find a way for that person to match in your head what should be the non-negotiable. You're looking.
Yep.
It's the whole I'm going to find what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Versus does this person really
Yeah.
line up?
Yeah. No,
So that's good.
true.
Is there a soulmate out there for you? Is there a Mrs. Moore?
Aw.
It's a lot to unpack. I think.
Well, or yes or no, one of the two.
No,
I mean, you don't have to unpack it all. Is there a Mrs. Moore?
No, I do believe there's a Mrs. Moore, but
Yeah.
to the question, I do think there's a lot to unpack in the whole soulmate thing because there are people you will hear that kind of buff against that idea of there's not just a one.
Yeah.
Or they will say, well, if there was a one, then why didn't it work out with that one?
Yeah.
And maybe there's a lot of ones that could be potential. And so I don't. To me, the question it's like a romantic question, but it's almost also like a theological question
Yeah.
of how sovereign
Yeah.
is God and all that, and where does my
Yeah.
free will play and where does their free will play in. So I finally come to the place where I'm going to trust that mystery to God, and I'm going to do what I can do on my part. There is a side of me there is a romantic side of me that's romantic enough that will never fade, and a part of me that, I hate to say it this way, is Calvinistic enough that will never fade, that I do believe there
That hit about 10% of the
I know.
audience, but that's great.
Yeah, this is my answer. Leave me alone. That I do
So
believe.
he wants to find a Calvinist.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Okay, sorry.
I don't. Let me say it. That I do believe God has whispered promises to my heart, and I do believe that. Let me say it this way. I think an idealistic side of me once would say, oh, there's a perfect one. I think more of a realistic but still romantic side of me would say, no, there's a perfect one for me.
Yeah.
And I think there's a difference.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference between a perfect one and a perfect one for
and
me.
There could
I do think
be multiple perfect ones out there. They could fit.
Right.
Sure.
They could fit, right? It's just a matter of finding
Yeah.
that person, them finding you, and it working.
Yeah, but and I think kind of piggybacking off some of what you guys said, I think the older you get, probably the more similar to you. I kind of wrote about this, that there was this season in 2016 coming off kind of a tough breakup where 3 different people from 3 different states that are not crazy called me and said, I felt like in prayer, God told me to tell you, you have not because you asked not, so write your list.
Yeah.
Make a list, get specific.
Yeah.
And I love that you said there's the preferentials that you think matter, and one day you'll be like, oh, why did I care about that?
Yeah.
And there's the non-negotiables that
Yep.
really, really matter. And I think the older I get, the more I'm just like, I want someone that I want someone that really loves Jesus, really loves the church, and really loves me.
Yep.
Like, to me, those 3 things are
Are
like,
those your non-negotiables?
those are my non-negotiables.
Wouldn't it be great if in your dating app you could have a list? These are my non-negotiables.
Okay.
Here's are my
We're
preferences.
starting
What's your
this app.
match? And so you just
Yeah.
go, hey, it's going to be called ChristianMingle.com. I got this new idea. Oh, wait, it
That one might be
exists.
great.
Never mind. Oh.
Yeah.
I think
We're gonna
my
call
2
it
biggest ones, I don't even know if you asked,
calvinistmingle.com.
maybe you didn't. But I think the more I thought about it, I do have this one prayer because, the whole ask not, you have not because you ask not. So this may sound a little cheesy or a little too unrealistic, but one of my prayers is that, at least in my eyes, the person that God has for me will blow me away with both her outer and inner beauty. That I will feel blown away by who she is on both sides. But I think my two characteristics that the older I get, the more I'm like, I find myself attracted to, that are like the 2 best characteristics, are joy and kindness.
Okay, so that
Joy and kindness.
that's awesome. I want to throw that question to you guys because I had I had that question in my mind before. What are the qualities that matter the most to you in somebody that you want to find?
Yeah.
What about you, Hope?
The first one that comes to mind is ambitious.
Okay.
If you're not ambitious, I'm sorry.
Yeah. You got to want to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So
like,
Enneagram 3.
well,
That's good.
I am
You're
an Enneagram 3.
Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So
I'm an
that could
Enneagram
clash.
3. He's an Enneagram 3. We've got a lot of 3s
Yeah,
at this
we got a
table.
lot of
Maria, what are
threes.
you?
I'm a 9.
Maria's a 9. She keeps
Whoa,
the peace.
did this change?
What?
I thought you were an 8.
I'm a 9 wing 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
She keeps the peace, but she'll still rip your head off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
Did you used to be
you
an
want to find? Hold on, I want to go back to this.
Yeah.
Ambition.
Ambition.
Ambition's big. Okay.
Huge. Obviously loves God, loves the church, all of those things. But I think the other thing is just family, family oriented. That is something that
Okay.
I
Yeah,
love.
that's good.
They are family oriented.
They are,
So-
but also they love my family.
Okay.
It's not obsessed just
Yeah.
with their family.
Sure.
But wants to be.
Then
a part
let's
of my
do
family.
this. Swipe right, swipe left.
Okay.
Okay. Ambitious guy. Loves God.
Yep.
Loves his mom.
Aw.
Loves his mom and his
sweet
family.
boy, sweet boy.
His family's crazy.
Do we live close to my family? My family.
I just thought, well, you bring up family. One of the
Yeah.
things that is definitely
That's
true that a lot of people don't
hard.
realize is that you don't just marry the person, you marry their family.
Yeah, that is
And
so
it
true.
definitely comes into play. You know,
It's
it come into
true.
play. I'm very blessed that my wife has a great
Yeah.
family, and so we have a great relationship with them, and so that's a huge blessing. But man, I can really see where it can cause problems when
That's
it's like
true.
holidays, when it's like going over and spending time, and and so I could definitely see that being a reality and
I
being
feel like there's
challenging. But they need to be a family person. They love
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, I feel like there's a level of if I hang out with the family and it's really bad.
Yeah,
then,
it's like,
yikes.
swipe
but,
left.
Yeah, but
Because then part of it is like, do they know how to draw healthy boundaries?
do they
That's
handle
going to be a
it
big
well?
part of it.
Well,
Right.
and how much of who we are
Yeah.
is a composite
Yeah, true.
of our families.
Right.
They say you
Right.
marry into their family.
I mean, it's true. You know, they
Right.
say you marry your mother in many ways for guys. And, so I think
Yeah.
there is some,
True.
what I'm looking at, I
Yeah.
might be looking at a lot if I
Yeah.
stay with this person.
Yeah.
Yep.
It shouldn't be the deciding factor. Interesting
Right.
about yours, a real quick thought. I want somebody who's a family member, fan, and somebody who's ambitious.
Yeah.
A lot
Those
of
two don't
times,
always
a
go
lot of
together.
times they don't go together. Not to say they can't.
Yeah.
I really think you can have an ambitious person who does prioritize family.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, you're not looking for somebody who goes, I just want to work 80 hours a week and do this.
Right.
But you want somebody that has drive.
Well,
Yeah.
driven to then provide for our family.
Yeah.
I think that's bottom line.
Not lazy. So that's good.
Yeah.
Those are good. What about you? Qualities that you're looking for?
Well, so I have a little bit of a unique situation because I can find a guy that, and this actually just happened to me, guy that really checks all the boxes, loves Jesus, loves the church, lot in common, but I have 2 kids.
Ooh.
So,
Oh,
is it
is
real
it
time?
B-real time?
It goes off. Everybody.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay, this happens. It's happened to us numerous times, and we have to post.
I think you planned this.
No, yeah, I planned this. So
think
this
you
is, and
emailed
every time I
B-Real.
post
Oh,
it,
B-Real, don't
you
you?
guys are like,
You
"This
email.
is fake," and now you're finding out it's not. So feel
You
free.
email it.
We're gonna
It's
go back to
B-Real time.
Maria's
Maria,
thing, but
keep talking.
but it's B-Real. Keep talking, or
Okay.
you can do yours.
I'll do mine in a minute. I'll do mine so it's different, confuse people.
Oh, they think that you're not actually on the podcast.
Yes. It's
Who?
a mannequin.
Whatever.
Okay, we really paused.
Yeah,
for
people
a
are bored. Okay, we
long
gotta keep going.
time.
Okay.
Okay, you can do
so-
yours while we're talking.
Okay. You find somebody that's, great, but maybe they're not cool with coming into a situation where there's already kids involved.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, on one hand, yes, I want to find a guy who loves me, loves Jesus, is great and ambitious. That's on my list too. But I also I am finding a potential stepfather for my
Yeah.
kids. If they have kids, how well do I mesh with their kids? How well do our
Oof.
kids mesh
Blended
together?
family.
Yeah.
So it is a lot to
Whole
think about.
nother dynamic.
And in a lot of ways, I feel like I am dating for my kids as well.
Yeah.
And so it's not just me anymore. And so that's different.
Is that hard?
Oh, it's
Does it feel
very
like
hard.
you can't be selfish?
Like,
I really like this guy, but I don't think he really connects with my kids.
honestly,
And-
it would be a red flag all the way for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
as
that's
soon
good.
as soon as so the situation that I was just in, there was a guy who was just kind of like, well, I don't know if I'm really ready for that. Maybe we could still talk, but I just don't know. And I was just like, no, you're going to be wasting my time.
Yeah.
No, thank you. And so I just feel like when it's it's a role model for my kids. It's all these things.
Yeah.
That's true.
So it's not easy, but it does put an extra layer on things of okay, this guy seems great, but
Yeah.
what it's more than just he's great kind of thing. So
So, okay, you're at this table. They have 3 people in the dating game. You have been married before, so you're dating after divorce.
yeah.
So, what is it like for you? Like, because there are people who listen to this podcast. There's
Yeah.
a lot of people in our church. I mean, you represent a populace of people in our community, even
Yeah.
here at the church, that have been through a divorce, have been through whatever, and
Yeah.
are on in another. It becomes a different season. It looks
Yeah.
different regardless of your age after divorce to
Yeah.
date. And so, what has that been like? Was it hard for you to get back into that? Did it-
Yeah. I don't want to be disrespectful to my,
Yeah.
but I
Yes.
think in a lot of ways, I feel like, okay, I've got a clean slate of I can be the best version of myself. I can, do all these things to better myself, better my relationship with God. And so I definitely feel like now I want, if I do find somebody, I want them to enhance what I've already been building.
That's
Yeah.
good.
And
Oh, I like that.
that's
Yeah.
true with
Good.
my kids as well. Like and so I'm very, very protective
Yeah.
of my kids,
Yeah.
even in my relationship with my kids. So it's different. It's not I can just, oh, you want to go hang out tonight? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
I got to find a babysitter.
Yeah.
And and
That's
so
so true.
I can't just I
Yeah.
can't be selfish in
Yeah.
a lot of ways because
Mm-hmm.
I have to just and I'm always going to put my kids first.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like what I'm looking for, I think it's drastically different. There's a lot of things like you talked about with
Yeah.
family and
Yeah.
how do they interact in these types of situations? Because I feel like there's a lot of things, and I'm sure a lot of people, after you've been through a marriage, you kind of know that there's more to people than what's on their dating profile.
Really?
It's like, oh, we
You
like
mean
the
people
same.
lie? You
Well,
mean
it's like, oh, we like the same sports teams, or we like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same
Yeah.
hobbies, or they like to travel and I like to travel. Okay, that's great, but what are they like when things are tough?
Right,
And
that's good.
What are they like when they're under pressure?
Yeah.
What are they like when they lose their job and they're in a pinch. Are they I'm gonna sit on the couch for 2 months and not make any money, or are they going to be like super ambitious and I'm gonna go find a job? So there's so many things that I feel like, and it makes it it's hard too, because you go from somebody very, very well to what's your favorite color?
Starting at the ground floor.
And it's
So
intimidating
true.
because you feel like you're standing at the bottom of a mountain. Like there's so much about this person that I have to learn before I can commit. So,
And the things that matter the most, that really we're all saying in different ways, are the things that you don't see above the surface. Like you say, I mean, really, all of us are talking in different ways about character.
Yeah.
That's what matters the most. And different character traits that, mean a lot to us in the season of our life.
And you don't get character on the dating apps.
No.
You get profile and a picture, and then you have to, like you said, wade through to see it. So that brings up another question, and I'm just kind of grilling you guys with questions, and I figure as you guys talk and we just talk this out, there'll be people that will watch this or listen to it that are in that season of life, and it'll probably be helpful for them to hear other people and how they're processing it, and that's kind of why we did this. Dating, how long, what are the steps that you feel like exist in dating in your mind? Maybe you've been through some of those steps with someone before, and obviously you've been married, so you've walked through a lot of steps like that. But what are the steps that you see in dating? So how does it start? It starts an initial slide into someone's DM. Hey, what's up? You want to grab coffee sometime? No, whatever. To initial dates, to where does it go to another level? And for you, added question. And this is not me from personal experience of really knowing a lot of people, but what you see with movies and TV. How far would you need to be comfortable in a relationship before you would you even introduce them to your kids? Like, you find up front, hey, my kids, come over, meet. Or you're like, no, not because I don't want my kids to see a rotation of guys that are just maybe random first coffee dates and that's it, and go, who's that? Well, I don't ever see him, so that's a whole nother dynamic. But maybe you guys all talk to, what do you see are steps in the dating process? What do they look like for you? Hope, I'll let you go first. What do they look like for you? How does it start? How does it move to another level?
Well, it obviously depends on who it is, but
Okay.
like there's always an initial. I personally would love to be friends with someone first, but that's a preference. But there's always an initial.
It's pretty hard to do through a dating app.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's automatically just assumed, right? You're doing that because you're there to date.
Right.
Not just to have a friend.
Right. So if you're dating on the apps and only on the apps, then that's kind of hard. But ideally, it would be like I meet someone at the church and, we're friends for a few months or whatever. And then we're like, oh, there might be an interest there. Hang out. I personally, this is a personal preference, but I'm like, a coffee date, is that really a date?
I mean, you get coffee anyways with
I'll
people,
go get
right?
coffee with anybody. I'll get a coffee with a stranger.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. So,
Okay.
I don't know. I think a real...
So it needs to be more than that.
Yeah, like, let's go grab a meal.
Will you, if you've been around this person, say they've been around the church for 2 months, 3 months, you've been around, you guys do some things, whatever, hanging out, whatever. Maybe some interest, maybe not. You just talk here and there at different times.
Okay.
Are you okay with making the first move? Or does he have to?
No,
you don't care.
I'm fine.
This is 2022.
Yeah.
Like,
and I feel like I have a bold personality. I'm not afraid.
Okay. And are you just bold and straight? Bless you.
My
Sorry,
goodness.
Okay. Wow. It's
Wow.
appropriate. We'll just
Listen,
have to cut that. No. Do you? Are you so bold? How are you going to ask it?
I don't think that I would ask.
Well, what do you
I don't
mean?
think I would.
just said you
You just
would.
said you
No, I don't
would.
think I would ask, but I definitely would like.
Hint.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm asking because.
You'd put your phone number in his yearbook.
Yeah.
Yes.
Listen,
Actually-
that's a lead-on hint.
What? So wait, you would hint, but you would not ask. That's what I'm trying to help all the guys that are single listening, going.
You would say something more to the effect of, hey, like, when you think about the possibility of me and you getting dinner Friday, what do you comes to mind?
No.
What would you order if that happened?
It would be more so like we would be talking about something, and I'd be like, "Oh, we should go do that."
Oh,
Okay.
That's
a
kind of
hint.
asking.
But that's just no. But it's
But that's a
the
hint.
general.
Yeah.
That's
It's
a
like, oh, we
hint.
should do that sometime.
Yeah.
That'd be
Okay.
fun.
Yeah.
Just you and me.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
one else. We should just do this sometime.
Yeah.
So you.
And maybe this Friday at 7. Who knows? I don't know.
What are you doing? I'm free. Okay, so you would hint, but you wouldn't make the first move. Maybe you would wait for
Probably
him.
not. Yeah.
What if you were really interested and he just wasn't getting the picture? He wasn't.
Then
getting
I
it?
guess I would.
You would ask.
Yeah.
You would ask.
I'm not afraid.
What about you? You just go after it or no? Because you're reserved anyways.
Yes. I
in
am
this
like, I mean,
regard.
he'll tell you. He tries to throw me under the bus out in
Oh, I thought he was going to say
Listen.
he's asked you numerous
No,
times.
no.
Listen, do we want to tell the whole story here?
No, we don't need to tell
No?
it on here.
Okay.
But I definitely think like I am so shy. Like I mean, she'll tell you. There's always times where I'm like, oh, that guy's cute, but I would,
would
never go talk to him. And like, unless he was already talking to one of my friends, then maybe I would like sneak up and like. Be
Would
like,
you give him a note that says, "Here's 2 boxes. Are you interested? Check one, yes or no."
I
Would you?
Accidentally brush his hand as you walk up.
Left or right? So
That is even too forward for me.
Really?
I am so like even
So
on dating apps, I'm like I'm not
He has
gonna
to come.
message them first.
He has to approach you.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know if it's just I'm outgoing, but I'm not like flirty. And so I feel like I'm very awkward, especially if I like somebody.
So, anyways, if you
Very
happen to go to X Church and you are interested in
Maria.
Maria, she's behind the sound console most Sundays. You're going to have to approach her.
Yes.
And I will, yes.
And she'll have her guard up. And she'll have her guard up when she does. What about?
I'll just
Yeah, I
assume you
would-
want a shadow in production.
Yeah.
That's what it will be.
It's your turn.
What about you?
Yeah, what was your next question that you were going to ask?
No, the question you're just going to answer like, okay,
Stages.
stages of dating,
man.
but we started with the first stage.
don't know
We're
that
only
I'm
at the first stage, which is how are you asking?
I don't know if I'm a good test
How are you
case on
asking
this.
out?
Come on.
Because all are
you gonna write a book?
I've
How
had
are you gonna
different
ask?
ones that have write a book on
You're
this.
going to write a book? How are you gonna, no, are you going to write a book?
I should
Hey,
not be here right now.
I mean, you could say, hey, look, I wrote a book. You want to go out?
Yeah, that would be that'd be a really humble.
It would be.
Yeah.
You want to go out?
It's a
Do you like
flex.
Do you like authors?
Yeah. Be like, yeah.
you like
So what do you
authors?
think of? Yeah, no.
Okay.
I don't know. So much of.
So how do you ask? Let's just start
That's
there.
what I'm saying. So much of my histories look very, very different
Text?
from case to case. I think. So I don't know if there's a typical way. I mean, usually.
You
I mean, let me
slide in the
just say this:
DMs?
I really don't date a lot. Like it's very rare for me. Part of that is the older I get, I don't want to waste time. Part of that is my role here at church. I mean, you can't just be really casual. There's a lot at stake. You have to be really, really careful.
And the monastic oath that you took.
and the monastic oath of celibacy and all that.
That's the other one. That affects it.
I don't know.
So you
I
don't-
think like you. I think the best ones, and I am probably to an extent. You know, like the, and I'm sure this probably annoys you too. But you know the kind of guys that will take anything as a hint.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just be nice and like, oh my gosh, she likes me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think something. I don't know if something happened early in childhood, but I've always
Somebody put their phone number in your yearbook?
Maybe that was it. And so I always lean to the other extreme, to where I almost always, to a detriment, would assume someone doesn't like me until like I know
Doesn't.
Does
not.
Okay.
I'm
So
kind of the same way.
I'm never that person that will ever assume.
You want to
Yeah.
know before you
Yes.
put yourself out there.
And so, I mean, I've
Makes
put myself
sense.
out there before, but I think from the way it's usually happened for me is we both become close enough as friends or whatever. We go on dates to where it's just so obvious, and then it naturally happens.
Yeah.
And naturally, it's obvious there's chemistry. It's obvious we like each
I
other.
have a question
Okay.
surrounding that, and it will lead us into what is next.
What's next?
Do you have what's the next
No,
step?
next step, yeah.
Do you have a conversation with them about your intentions? Like when do you have a conversation
Like
about
up
that?
front.
Yeah.
Like, would your intentions might be, hey, I'm looking for a serious commitment.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I'm just looking to have someone to hang out with for right
Yeah.
now, maybe see where it goes, but not sure. Like
Yeah.
that kind of conversation?
Yeah. Or like, hey, I
Or-
really am interested in you. Because
Or like-
you just said
Or like, I would like to be married within the next 2 years.
it's obvious. Yeah. It's obvious that there's an interest there, but do you bring that up?
Yeah, so I think what I'm trying to think back to my last few. I'm thinking usually within the first couple,
Hard to
within
think
the
back to
first
last
month or
week.
two. Oh my gosh!
Sorry. I just can't help myself.
I know you can't.
Go ahead.
You're doing this way too much.
I am. Sorry.
Usually at this stage of life, I feel like especially there comes these natural conversations.
Yeah.
At least I've had.
Yeah.
And looking back, I feel like I initiated
Yeah.
of what do we both want?
Yeah.
Right.
Where are we both going? Because I think one of the things too, especially depending on not just your desires and your standards, but also depending on, if I can use this word, assignment and calling, vision is really huge and determining. And so usually because of that, and kind of naturally because of what I do, there are conversations that come up about what I do, what she does, and okay, how does that fit?
Yeah.
When we look at the future, what does that look like?
So you have this conversation on the first date, right?
It sounds like it.
No. This is usually when I
Waiting
first
for the
shake their
pour over.
hand.
Oh, waiting for the pour over.
Waiting for the pour over.
Yes.
Waiting for the
Or wait, you don't even get the coffee
Okay,
in
but
hand.
if she doesn't get a pour over,
It's just
are
like-
you swiping left?
It's just like, hey, what's your name?
That's
Like,
going.
it's what's your name? And in 5 years, do you see yourself married? And then, and
just
by the way, what kind of
casual.
coffee do you have? Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
Just
no, but
casual.
usually within the first,
Yeah.
maybe even sooner than that. Usually within the first month or two, you're just
Yeah.
talking about life,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
obvious.
Totally.
Like,
Your hopes and
Totally.
dreams for
Yeah,
life. And
totally.
you want it to come up naturally, though.
yes,
Yeah.
and I have had, to answer your question directly, I have had moments where I have taken someone by the
Yeah.
hand and said, hey, this is what I want,
Yeah.
and this is what I see,
Yeah.
and I want you to
And
know
I
that.
want you.
Yeah.
So do you?
and then usually
I
end
take
it with,
them by the hand and say, I want. Okay.
and then end it with you had me at hello.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
all right.
Okay, so
Okay.
let's just real quick. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. What do you see are the stages and progression of dating? So there's the first initial, it's awkward, first date, awkward,
Yeah.
whatever. It went okay, well, good. Another date, maybe it happens again a week later, 2 weeks, whatever. When does it go to boyfriend and girlfriend?
Oof.
Is there? Let me ask this question because it's been a long time since I've been around like school, and it's like, hey, you be my boyfriend, you be my girl.
Aw.
Do you see there is a difference between we've dated to we are now boyfriend and girlfriend, right? There's a
Yeah,
line,
There is.
right? Does it have to verbally be said?
I don't honestly know.
Is it
I don't know
or is it like,
either.
oh, he put it in his social media profile?
Yeah.
Apparently, we're a thing.
I feel like there's a
He changed his status on Facebook. I guess we're serious. Like,
Yeah.
or because I feel like it feels to me, and I've again been married since I was young. It feels to me that it's a very high schoolish type of thing,
Yeah.
but it has to at some point go from we went on a few dates to we're not going to be seeing other people.
Yes.
We're
Right,
interested. So
right.
what does that look like, and
I
how does it
think-
happen for you?
I think one of the things, and again, not to speak to not our generation, but one of the things, speaking back to earlier when the whole college crew, one of the things they said this the toughest thing about dating right now is there's so much ambiguity and so much greatness, and
Yeah.
you never really know. And so I think probably in our dating spheres, there could definitely be more clarity.
Yeah.
But I think the younger generation, as old as that sounds for me to say, is dealing with that even worse.
Yeah.
So I think more clarity could be added
Yeah.
in the dating culture
Yeah.
Yeah.
currently as is. I do think usually everybody understands there's a DTR moment, inevitability, a define the relationship moment. And I do think sometimes if there's not a strong person in the relationship, say, okay, let's talk. What does this mean?
Yeah.
I usually think it takes the form of one of a few different things of, hey, so like,
Are we?
What are we?
I'm not dating other people. You date other people?
Yeah.
So like, are you my
Or-
girlfriend? Are you my boyfriend?
So usually it's I think it takes the form of boyfriend, girlfriend, or hey, you're not dating anybody, are you? Like or there's an exclusive.
Is this serious?
Yeah, there's
Did
an
that come up?
Right.
Like, is this
there's
for
an
you
exclusive
serious?
thing, and or this is probably boyfriend, girlfriend, the exclusive talk, or so we Facebook official. Am I okay to put that?
Yeah.
It's probably one of those 3 or 4
Yeah.
things.
Because that's important today.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. I would say I just naturally like to have clarity in every way. So naturally I bring it up. Like,
hey,
I'm
are we?
So like, what's going on? Like, what is this? What are we doing?
And you do it with that smile, don't you?
Yeah. I'm like,
You just
so,
talk with a smile
what's
all the
happening?
time. And so it's like, it doesn't matter how serious it is. He just has this
Yeah.
huge smile.
Hey, are you gonna be a man and tell me like what's really going on or what?
boyfriend, girlfriend thing.
Okay, so
yeah.
Is that awkward
Just-
too?
I mean, it can
can be.
Well, it just leads to the possibility of rejection.
Yeah.
I think that's the scariest part. Is
For-
like we're all afraid. Everybody is
Yeah.
afraid of rejection in some way, shape,
Yeah.
or form. So it's like you're putting yourself on the line, really,
Yeah, I get
if
it.
you're the one bringing it up. But also, I don't want to waste time either. So it's
Yeah.
like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like if we're just like beating around the bush and not talking about it, then what are we doing?
You're
Why are
out
we
of
doing
that
this?
20 to 25
Yeah.
range that I mentioned that's got
Yep.
the really high. And so you're actually hitting ideal years. You've got
Yep.
to. You just,
It is time.
Not messing around.
Do you hear that, fellas?
So okay,
It is
boyfriend
time.
girl. Okay, so there's initial dating. There's boyfriend girlfriend.
Yeah.
How long in your minds Does it need to? Would you anticipate a relationship needing to be there before you're even thinking like,
Engagement.
dude, if he proposed to me or she, really wants me to propose or has dropped hints, how long in your mind would that boyfriend girlfriend phase probably be?
I feel like I used to say a lot longer than what I would say now.
Yeah.
But I feel like in this stage of life, you probably know after like 6
4 or
to
5
8
weeks.
months. Yeah. 4 or 5 days.
Like the first date, probably.
You said 6 to 8 months,
6
right?
to 8 months. I feel like
Okay, 6 to 8 months
know.
after your boyfriend girlfriend kind of were exclusive.
Well, because you've gone through a lot of seasons. I think it's important to go through seasons.
So 6 to 8 is a lot of seasons.
Well, like literal seasons.
That's okay. So that's maybe could have hit 3.
Yeah.
Depending,
Maybe.
We really only
maybe
have-
no more than 3. 'cause
Yeah.
there's
In
4.
Ohio, we only have 3 seasons.
That's true.
But no.
Okay, so 6 to
It
8.
is interesting. I had somebody tell me, like, I think when I was like 20, they're like, there's a magical number of around 9 months that you'll know.
No.
Something will happen by
Either
then.
know.
Yeah.
And the girl in my early 20s that I almost proposed to, I mean, it was magic until month 9. And that's when stuff hit the fan. And I never
Yeah.
forget, like, looking back and be
Really?
like, oh, wow.
So at least
Interesting.
9. We're going to have to
think-
stretch that to 9,
Okay,
Hope. Okay,
I
6
think
to 8, but
so.
there's some magical number at 9. We just learned that. That'll help everybody
Oh,
listening.
okay. Yep.
What about you? How long?
I don't know. I think that I'm kind of in the same boat where I don't feel like
Let's say they check all the boxes
Yeah,
during
I
that
felt
season.
like for a long time I thought, I want to date for a year, and then I want to be engaged for a year,
Yep.
and then by then you will have gone through a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
whatever. But I don't think. I mean, I would definitely wait at least 9 months before I would consider. I think
Yeah.
before I would consider it sooner, but
Yeah.
never actually make any steps towards.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
what
that
if you
makes
knew them
sense.
before?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's different when you're.
There are
Think
different
you
factors.
know
There's
someone.
different
There's
factors
a
of the
different
age you're
level.
at. I feel like there's
Yeah.
less wild cards
I would
now.
agree.
Yeah.
And how long you've known them.
I would
Yeah.
agree.
I
I think all that plays into it. I don't think there's a magical
Yeah.
number.
No.
I'm just
Yeah.
curious what you guys thought would be, an appropriate. I know
And everybody's
I know people
story's
have
so
been
different.
I
Some
know people
people-
that got married within 2 months
Oh, yeah.
that have been married for 40 years.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are some people that will be together for 10 years and won't get married for whatever
Yeah.
reason, and so I think it's different for
Oh, yeah.
everybody.
That doesn't seem healthy, though.
No.
Yeah, no.
Okay. How about this? Okay. Last one on this. How long of an engagement?
Short.
Yeah.
Short.
I'm voting short.
Short. What about you?
I mean, I feel like if you're.
It probably
Good
depends
enough
on
to
how
get
long the
engaged.
dating process was.
Yeah.
Like if you
Yeah.
today though, after having been married, in let's just say in the dating process, 9 months, a year went by. Okay, before that, they have checked all the boxes with kids, family, all of that, and they say, "I want to get married and propose." Does that change it?
Yeah.
Now it's like
Makes
go
my
to
hands
see
sweat.
go see the justice of the peace. Go see the court
I
magistrate.
definitely don't want to do like a big wedding. ever
No,
again. I
everybody
think-
that's been married goes. I wouldn't do
Yeah.
that again. But
I think. I honestly have no idea. Every time I think about it, I feel like it's different in my mind.
okay.
I go back and forth so much.
I do think age, like I've had some couples before that I've officiated their wedding, and they've been married before. They're 48, 50 some years old.
Yeah.
Find some. I feel like you know yourself pretty
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
know what you're looking for. That
Right.
you're, especially if you were
Yeah.
married for 20 years.
Yeah.
I don't think
It's like I
yeah.
know what I'm looking
Right.
for and what the red flags are by that point.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel that.
But I think the
don't
20, like I shared a stat that the highest age bracket for the likelihood of divorce is 20 to 25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That it's like 60%
Yep.
of people in that age end up
Yeah.
getting divorced. And I think it's because
Yeah.
they don't know themselves.
Right.
I was 25.
And I really
when I got
do.
married.
And I think they do say that the next or the best window in this one of the studies I was looking at was 28 to 32.
Yeah.
28 to 32 was the best one, probably because you do know yourself. You're probably
Yeah.
somewhat established. You probably could take care of yourself, so you're not putting all your
Yeah.
eggs in that basket.
Yep, true.
And so, but then they say after 32, it starts going back up,
Yeah.
which was crazy. And another stat that's again not to be depressing for some, but the statistical likelihood of getting a divorce when two people who were divorced before get married again is really high. It's like 75%
Wow.
for a second marriage, and it's like 90% for a third.
Wow.
And it goes, and which is almost kind of it seems counter because you'd think we've
Don't
both
wanna
been
do
through
that
it. We
again.
know what we're looking for, but
But do you think it is that false sense of, I already know, and I know that this person checks all the boxes, so we can rush because I already.
It could be.
Yeah.
So
And you don't vet.
Yeah.
You don't vet properly. You don't go through that. And I do think
Mm-hmm.
there's a difference between casual dating
Yeah.
and dating for a mate,
Yes.
dating for a spouse.
Yes.
And you're dating for a spouse and a father figure.
Right.
So you have that added on top
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
And so, okay, one of the last things, and then I'll let you ask me a question. Okay, so one of the last things I'll ask, ideal date. What would be the ideal date? Someone's setting it up for you, and I've got it, and we're going to go ideal date. What would it be?
Definitely some sort of meal, like you said, and then doing something fun that's
Fun.
like either bowling or like doing something that we're doing together and have to work together to see how that goes.
Okay.
Is this a first date?
Whatever. Yeah. Say it's
Okay.
first date. But,
Okay.
I mean, it might not be if that's too awkward, but an ideal date. Let's just say it is a first date, and some guy went and asked you, and you're excited about it, and he says, I've got it all planned. Picking you up Friday, 6 o'clock.
That would make me
Too early?
I
7.
don't know. I
8.
like breakfast dates.
Oh,
That's weird. I know.
Nashville brunch.
But listen, going all
Okay.
day.
Well, okay. So you're telling your ideal
Yeah,
date. It
yeah.
starts in the morning.
It's a Saturday
Okay.
morning.
Not the night before. And okay, it starts
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
Breakfast, and then some sort of walking activity.
Okay.
Because sitting at a table and looking someone in the eyes for like hours at a time,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. We
So
need
not
to like,
not so it doesn't, especially if it's early, not that initial lots of awkward.
yeah.
So
Like,
what's your
if you're
favorite
walking-
band? What's your
Yeah.
favorite thing? You want to
Yeah.
go do something and it
Right.
makes it less awkward. I would
Yeah.
agree. That sounds right.
Yeah.
So walking, doing something.
Walking, because you don't have to, you're not looking at each other the whole time you're walking. You gotta
Right.
look
Good
around.
point. You just
elsewhere.
hold hands and then.
No.
I'm just
Come on.
kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Okay, what about you? Ideal date.
You're going to be annoyed at my answer, but this is
No.
so hard for me to answer because it
No,
really just depends.
It's not.
It
Go to a
is.
coffee shop, get a pour
It's
over,
not. It's-
drink
it's
it, eat
not.
the pour over.
That doesn't.
Eat the pour
Yeah,
over.
eat what's left.
Doesn't
Give
make
me the
sense.
rest of what's on top.
This doesn't make sense. No, because when I look back on my favorite dates, it's all of those. Like I equally enjoy going and doing something fun, going to a concert together or a game together. I also really enjoy cooking for a date. If it's like a special occasion, like having my apartment really nice, having like flowers ready, like cooking a really
Okay,
nice,
we're saying
luxurious
first
meal.
date. Let's throw that out. That's not happening
She's
for a
not
first
coming
date.
over to your
Oh,
apartment.
okay.
Would
If
you
it's
go to a
if
concert
it's
on
a
first date?
No.
You can't really get to know 'em.
You didn't clarify this is a first date.
She
asked
asked.
her.
I think you-
First date.
So if it's a first date, I know part of this is going to sound really traditional, but I really love a really, really nice dinner and movie.
Yeah.
You would go to a movie on a first
See,
date?
is that movie?
I feel like that is cliche, and I also
Yeah.
understand now why people are annoyed by that. Like going to a movie.
Wow.
No, you know what I mean? Because you don't talk.
You don't talk.
So then it's like,
Yeah.
are they going to try to hold my hand? Are they going to, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like this, you know what I
I'd be
mean? So I
asleep.
understand
I fall
that.
asleep in movies.
I do too.
So.
What if you
I
start
do too.
snoring?
I fall asleep in almost every movie I go see.
Okay. Then one last follow up. If you have one, worst date ever. What happened? Go. Worst date. You don't have to get the whole thing.
remember it.
Worst date ever.
I remember.
Go.
I thought this girl was beautiful, amazing,
Drop dead gorgeous.
drop dead
Drop dead.
gorgeous. And she invited me. She asked me out. She said, "Hey, would love to go out this Friday." I'm like junior in high school. I was like, "Oh my!" I was so excited. And I was like, "Okay." Pick her up for the date. She want to go to Fazoli's. They have Fazoli's around
Yeah.
here.
Come
Yeah,
on.
I was on like fast food,
Totally.
Italian, whatever.
Yeah.
We show up to Fazoli's on our date, and there are 15 other of her closest friends there that I have no idea. We go to different schools, and she was like the what do you call the head cheerleader, the
Captain.
captain of the cheerleading team. I don't know, long time ago. So like half of it was her cheerleader friends, the other half was the football players, and me who doesn't know any of them. And so we ate. She barely talked to me. I don't know if she was nervous or what, but she barely talked to me. Then we all go to a movie.
All of you?
Oh, wow.
All of us go to the movie. Me and her barely talked.
Aw.
And then I took her. I don't remember. Then I took her home, and I just remember I got in my house. I'm like, what was the point? Why did she even want to go out with me and invite these 15 people?
Yeah,
it was
that's
the
bad.
weirdest
Did
worst
she
date
invite
ever.
all them? Did she orchestrate that, or was it like, hey, they're all getting together, bring somebody, and then she reached out to you and go, do you want to go?
Well, I don't
should've
know.
asked.
Like, so we had a mutual friend
Okay.
who told me a month ago. She goes, "Hey, my friend thinks you're really, really cute. She might reach out sometime, ask you on a date." And I was like, "Okay." So then I know that was the purpose.
Yeah.
Because then she eventually got my number. called me, said, hey, I would love to go out sometime. I said, okay. We made plans. And then part of our plans, unbeknownst to me,
was with 15 other people.
Was with 15 of our other close
I
friends.
will
Wow, that's a
say,
bad date.
if my friends are going on dates, I love to go watch. I have done that a lot
Really?
of times.
Really?
Yes.
Like, even if it's like third
When
wheeling
I
it,
lived,
you don't
no,
care? Or
no,
you
no,
mean
no, I'm
double date?
sneaky. I'm sneaky
Oh,
watching.
you'll watch if you know they're
Yeah.
going on a date.
Yes.
You happen to go to the
Actually,
same
no.
So
place.
I lived in Cincinnati,
Oh.
and right by the river, there's like a couple of restaurants, and I knew that my friend was going on a date at one of them. I scootered up and down the entire time. They were sitting outside, up
Yes.
and down. Yeah, just to watch.
Sorry.
But anyway.
Sorry.
About that?
No.
Bad date.
Not to prolong this, but I'm so sorry. I thought of one worse. I
What? Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
I thought
Why
of one
do you
worse.
have all these
I
stories?
thought of one worse. Actually, I have several more. I'm just going to
I don't
share
have
one more
a bad
though.
story, so
I
you can.
drove from Atlanta to Greenville to, the wedding of the century. Like this huge wedding. I'm so sorry.
I just thought of a bad
Oh, and one of the brides. Actually, this will not surprise you. This is part of the story.
No.
I got in a little bit late. It was raining, and accidentally. Because there's like thousands of people there. I accidentally walked into the wrong part because it was raining so bad into where the bridesmaids and the groomsmen were. And so, but I knew some of the family, so they invited me and they're like, well, you're in the wrong place, but come hang out. And I thought one of the bridesmaids was beautiful, met her. Come to find out, it was a really weird coincidence. She lived in Atlanta. So I was like, hey, I live in Atlanta. We exchanged numbers. So when I got back to Atlanta,
God's sovereignty.
yeah, when I got
Calvinist
back to
at
Atlanta,
his best.
I took her out, and I want to be kind, but trying to make conversation. I swear, at one point I was like, okay, so, like, what's your favorite kind of music? She goes, oh, I don't really like music. And I was like, oh, okay. And then silent for a little bit. Hey, so, what are some of your favorite restaurants? I really don't usually like to go out to eat a lot.
Oh,
and I was like,
no.
oh, cool. What? And I
like your dream
swear, this.
Why are you here? Why did you?
And then I was, I could go into more detail, but it was if I exaggerated it, you still would not believe me. It was.
I can
the
imagine
exact-
it being really awkward and all the stammering going on. And
Yeah.
okay. So, what about do you like movies?
Yeah. Oh,
That's how you ask questions
I went
when
through
you're nervous and you're stammering.
She did not say a word the whole time we were there. In every category I went through, she's like, "Oh, I don't really like that."
Oh.
And I was like,
Is that how she talked?
"Yeah, but worse." And I was like, "This sounds mean. I don't mean that mean, but sorry." But it just
my.
was. Yeah.
All right, Maria, worst date ever?
I don't.
No bad dates?
No, I don't go out on a lot of dates.
No bad dates here.
No bad
Every
dates.
date's a good date.
Yeah, every day's a good date. Just
Every date's a
kidding.
good day.
Or
Okay.
there's no dates.
Well, thank you guys for being on here and just telling us about that.
I don't know if
Okay,
this
you
was
can ask me a
helpful to
question.
anybody listening.
No, I don't think it was. Okay, so
Yes,
just
it
so you know,
was.
this episode wasn't necessarily, we didn't have a topic or a theme other than to flesh out, what it's like to be in the dating game today. And maybe something in this will, I don't know, encourage you to give you a little boldness.
Yeah.
Give you a little, if you're a guy and
little
it's a
push.
girl, go ask her, right? And it's easier now than ever I do think social media apps have kind of lessened the whole sting of rejection. Doesn't mean you don't
Yeah.
still feel it, but it's like
That's true.
different than face to face asking and go,
No.
I just don't see you like that. You know what I mean? Like that's pain. But yeah, no, me neither. I was just curious, and then and then walking away with your tail between your legs. Yeah.
Oh, that's awkward.
But I gotta say, you guys, would you ladies at least, even if a guy asked you and he wasn't interested, you weren't interested, would you respect him more for asking you to your face, or would you be annoyed that he did and didn't just message you on social media or the app? Which would it would be? I want to know for every guy out there who's single and wanting to know.
I respect it,
But do you really?
but also I'm like,
You respect it but hate it.
yeah, but
To
I'm
your face. You're saying?
I'm such a people pleaser. It would be really hard for me to say no.
So you would say
even
yes.
if I was like
Hello.
so
If
not
you're single,
interested.
Hope won't say no.
Even if I was
You
so
can- she'll
not
say
interested.
yes on the first date.
Oh,
What would you
that's-
say?
That
You're not gonna say no?
I
You'll be like,
love
dude,
your personality.
let me check. I'm gonna check
let's
my
hang out.
calendar.
No, I would
I'm
invite
washing
other
my
people.
hair.
Oh, you would invite people?
Oh, yeah,
You invite two people?
I would invite the rest of my cheerleading squad and the football players.
Hey! Now we've gotten to the bottom of it.
Okay. Well, hopefully it's just
Sorry.
been maybe fun, entertaining, and we're in a series talking about love and dating, so I thought we'd just kind of break it down a little bit more. And I haven't been in the non-married dating life for a long time, but do you have any question for me?
What do you prophetically see in my future?
Okay.
I believe you'll be married in less than a year.
Less than a year?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That does
really
not
think
match
that?
Yeah.
our timeline.
Is it
Well, yes,
within
it
the
does.
9 months, or
Married.
he's
So-
going to be married in 9 months?
So the engagement will be
Short.
3
Short.
months.
Very short.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, couple months.
Okay.
Let's timestamp this episode.
Couple months.
Yeah.
What-
For real though.
No. Do you have a question?
Um.
I put you guys on the hot seat. I feel like it's only fair for you to be able to ask me a question.
I
Not
kind of
that it-
have more so a question from the dad standpoint.
Okay.
Like you have 2 daughters.
Yes.
Who have obviously dated.
Yeah.
One is married.
Why do you say obviously?
Well, one is very obvious because she's married.
Right.
Oh, that would be true. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
What do you feel like, from your perspective,
Mm-hmm.
is different between the two? Because they're a little.
Very different.
Yeah, they're
Very
very different. Do you feel like it's been interesting from a dad perspective, like values and all the things?
Yeah, I think we, my wife and I feel like we got really lucky with Hunter in many
Yeah.
ways. He's just a sweet
the
dude,
best.
and he loves
Yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah.
loves the church, wanted to be in ministry, and so they had seasons, and they were dated
Yeah.
together a long time, and there was good times, there was hard times, and other things, but I think deep down with him, we never really questioned
Yeah.
whether he was authentically in love with Jesus or following him, and to me that. I've just been around long enough to see that is what really trips people up.
Yeah.
My sister, when she ended up getting married, was dating a guy that wasn't a Christian,
Yeah.
and then became one when it was an issue with
Yikes.
dad.
Yeah.
And that seemed legit. And then after they got married and then moved away, he was a completely different person,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
went badly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
badly. So I've kind of in our family seen the pain of that. So
Yeah.
and as a pastor, and so I just know how important it is. So
Yeah.
in that regard, I think it's been good, and then with Audrey and she's had a few different boyfriends. That
She's
is
still growing up too.
she is still
Yeah.
growing up,
Yeah.
and I think that's been a pinch point with some of them for us, and it brings concern as a dad, but I also want to. It's like her decision,
Yeah.
and so we have to try to, as she was growing up, we tried our best to try to set some boundaries and guidelines and all of those things, but it's painful, I mean, I would say my wife, she's, I don't know if it's because it's girls, and she ends up probably has done a lot more of running too when it's not good. My reactions are always usually pretty aggressive and bad. I mean, it's kind of like, we can fix this. I know how to fix this right now.
Yeah, break up.
And so I've gotten very protective
Yeah.
when that happens, and
Yeah.
she more kind of is the consoling and help her talk through it. And so we've tried to, for good or bad and not knowing as a parent, tried to help them. One of the things that we wanted to do that was, I feel like a little bit different maybe than the time when I grew up and maybe our family, it was kind of like, hey, you date for marriage, you're too young, you shouldn't be dating, so break up. So I broke up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm following my parents' wishes, but secretly I'm not.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we, knowing that that's the way I was, it was like going to this, I want to do it differently
Yeah.
as a parent. We've tried to be less like, no, you can't see that person. No, you can't.
Yeah.
And we've tried to do more of we're going to try to have conversations. We're
Right.
going to make sure we try to set boundaries, but we're also, we want to keep the line of communication open.
Yeah.
We'd rather you tell us
Yeah.
about the relationship and about than to hide it
Yeah.
Yeah.
from us. So I think some of that's
That's
just been
good.
our experience, and we've tried, and
Yeah.
But it's definitely challenging because, you want to say things, but,
And
you
it's
can't
different.
say things, but, and then you also want to be the type of parents where they want to come over.
Yeah.
No, tell them, come on over, hang
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
you want
that's
to
so
be the
true.
kind of like, hey, if you're going to go hang out, come hang out with us. Or
Yeah.
That's true.
So I don't know, it is definitely a different process. I've been in a different seat watching the dating process
Yeah.
for sure with
Yeah.
my girls. So
Yeah.
that was a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
No. It's just very interesting though.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely when I can imagine being a parent. It's-
Similar though. You're a parent, but
Yeah.
it's different. You're
Yeah.
you're kind of looking for someone for yourself, but also
Yeah.
to that. So
Yeah.
you have a kind of on a flip, but you
Yeah.
understand that same
Yeah.
kind of parental type of
Yeah.
protection
Right.
feeling that you
Yeah.
have. And so, but the difference with this is you have control of that.
Right.
We don't have as much,
Yeah.
especially as they're getting older. And Audrey's
Yeah.
a senior now, and she's 17, and so other than an arranged marriage, which I don't, she didn't like that
Arranged
idea.
marriage.
So she's,
She might change her mind.
she might change her mind. So, well, thank you guys for being on here. Thank you, all of you,
Yes.
my non-co-host today, who for sharing about your journey a little bit with dating. And if it's something that is interesting to you, we hope it is. And if you're in this process, I think even for me, it's been interesting to be able to hear, because I think sometimes from my seat of being married for a long time, I can forget and lose touch from like what are the challenges that you
Yeah.
guys really feel, the
Yeah.
tension of it. And I do know, and going back, it is a big deal.
Yeah.
It is a really big deal. And I think that's because we were created for relationship connections and I think even deep companionship in
sure.
life. And so if anyways, thank you for tuning in. If you are watching this or if you're listening and subscribing, and we will continue this conversation on Sundays for a few weeks in a series called Swipe Left. So whenever you find this, it could be months from now, you can go to our website and you can watch the series and hopefully it'll encourage you. And then the last week of it, we're just going to do this like big, huge dating game thing.
Yeah.
No, I don't know that, but that would be
Kissing
fun.
booth
We're
in
gonna
the
do
big
speed
singles
dating.
mixer.
Yes. Anyways, I don't know. Well, thanks for being on here, guys.
Thank you.
And we hope you enjoyed it. As always, you can share your comments. Let us know. In fact, in this post on YouTube, we would love comments. Like, why don't you just leave some comments for Hope and Maria?
Yeah, let
That would
Hope
be
and
great.
Maria
Let them
know if you're interested.
Give them your phone
Yeah.
number. And Pastor Russ, leave digits.
Yeah,
we
no, it's
love
okay.
it.
Leave
Talk
your
about this.
digits and your profile on Hinge or Bumble. What are you on?
What?
I don't
I'm
think it
not
works
on
like
anything.
that.
No.
Tumblr, is that thing?
Yeah,
You can't
how's
search
it-
people.
You can't search people.
No.
That would be
Instagram.
creepy, wouldn't it?
That would be.
That would be
They
creepy.
can put their Instagram.
Instagram,
handle.
put your Instagram handle on there, and these ladies like it when you approach them.
Yes,
So
yes.
if that is helpful, anyways, thanks for joining. I don't even know what episode this is, like 96, 7, something like that. We're getting close to
We're
100.
Close to 100.
And that's hard to believe, but it's been a fun conversation. So if you like it, share it with somebody that you know it might help them in their journey. As always, we'll see you next time on the X Podcast.